my little turkey baster one. That's really good for getting fluid samples out of like brake reservoirs or like coolant. You just need to like see what's in there, and you can't see inside of a reservoir. You just suck it up and you go like, okay, now I know what I'm dealing with. And I have these hood props that just kind of extend, and then you just pull this little tab and retract them, and they work really awesome. I have 2 of those because sometimes you run into more than one vehicle that has a hood that won't stay up. And then I have my funnel here, and this if you've ever used this coolant funnel, I mean, it's really great. It has a bunch of attachments to basically attach it onto any type of coolant reservoir, and then you could just air bleed it like that. I don't use it a lot. I use the vacuum bleed style, and that one basically works as a vacuum test whenever you work on a coolant system. So if you have a leak, that thing will not hold the vacuum, and so you can basically tell if you have a leak like without ever having to do a coolant pressure test. Like, I used to do coolant pressure tests much more often after working on a cooling system, but with that one I've had enough confidence in it where like if I've had to get something done like in a real big hurry, like I'm confident enough with that equipment that I can honestly say there's probably not going to be a vacuum leak or any type of coolant leak at all. But I really like to do final checks and stuff like that. And then here I just have a bunch of interior removal tools. Like, so I have this one for Mercedes like fans, but it's also great for pulling interior parts, like really delicate ones. And then this one, basically just a panel popper, so you put it in a door panel and you just pop it out. Works great for other stuff too, like the floor ones. That one's really good for that, where you need a lot of like, you need to pry on 2 different surfaces. And it works great for plastic clips too. You can take it out on like wheel liners and stuff like that. I have my wedge here that Mercedes had one that was a little bit more rubberized and stuff, but it's like $100, and I'm not buying that. Like, it works fine, but it doesn't work like well enough to do that. I have for interior stuff, this actually comes in really handy when you need to kind of move stuff around. So I keep it in there, and then I also have the small plastic clip remover, because honestly, if I'm working under the dash, I'm gonna bring my big ones with me, and then at some point I will have to bring out my interior kit to work on stuff. And at that point, I'll already have my big ones, so I don't need another little pair here. But it's not very likely that I'm going to grab my little ones and go and start looking under the dash. Typically, I'm going to grab my big ones, and then I'm going to come over and grab my kit. And that one has the little ones here already if I need them, because most of the time I don't like using them. And then I have these little window hangers. So basically, you suction them onto the window. So if you need to work on like a window regulator, you can pull it up on the door and stick it on there. And I have 2 of them because... not because I'm working on 2 windows at a time, but because one of those probably will fail, and you're going to get a sudden scare where it shifts down a little bit, but whatever. And then I have in here refillable brake clean bottles. One of my nozzles broke, so actually every time I run out on one cylinder, I'll just take the little nozzle out and pop it into this one, and then I have 3 tanks of those. One of them's over on the lift, but I go through a lot of brake clean because I typically, whenever I'm doing a repair, I'm doing like 8 different oil leaks, so I just got to clean this whole thing off, and there's not really a way to get a power washer in here, so I just got to do that. I guess the environment can take one more for the team. I do feel guilty about it, but I have to use brake clean to make sure that we don't have any more leaks, and that's been the best way to do it so far, like besides power washing it. But anyway, I've wasted enough time, so I'm probably just going to go home because I don't think I'm going to stay here and fix this.